is ripping.
My tummy hurts.
Pretty good, right now.
Hey guys, good evening. It's Monday, December 20th. Market just closed a little while ago. Just doing a nightly recap here. Go over some stuff real quick. First of all, I go over to SPY. From Thursday's high, we hit close to almost an all-time high on Thursday on SPY. And we were 20 points down from that high here. 72.50 all the way, almost 73. 473 down to 451.30. It's like a 22-point move. Anyway, really nice day to the downside. Then had a nice recovery. My first target was here, was about 451 down on the profile where it was getting thin. Had this line drawn for everybody this morning. I didn't really think it would get that far, but had a really nice move down. And then my second target was 453.80 here. An old failure level and an old breakout level. So we did close up over that here, 456 like 10 area. But we saw a positive divergence. We're still over the 200 day moving average, which is good. Qs, let me look where the Qs are. QQQ is still over the same moving average, over the 200. Qs were a little bit weaker today, but I was a little worried going forward, down here to maybe 370, 368 area, on another, maybe some more selling pressure on the Qs. We did break below this area here, old breakout and failure level, and we didn't close above it on the Qs. We did close above it on the SPY. And then IWM had it had an okay recovery. It did hit my line in the sand here at like 209, 208, 75 was the low, 76. And I was looking at 209, 30, 40 area. Definitely blew through 210. Came down to this level I was looking at. But again, we had, if you're looking at a intraday, we did have a nice positive divergence on it throughout the afternoon. And it closed up on its high and popped a little bit after hours. Same thing with the SPY. The SPY had a little bit of a positive divergence here that we were looking at before I left. Had a nice divergence here, came up through the zero, bounced off the zero. So, as you can see over here on the right, on a 10-minute Heikin-Ashi, you can see how it crossed my moving averages and finished up almost 455.50 here. Pulling back here after hours right now a little bit, but it looks like 456 area, and 455.38. Then it ran to 456.30. Another dollar here after hours, and then another pop here. So, but anyway, a lot of stuff was moving this morning. Moderna, we're looking at Moderna, had that big gap up. Hate chasing those gaps. Had a really nice sell-off back down into value area on the volume profile. Getting a little bit of support here in the 276, 277 area on profile, which is nice. I didn't want to chase it. It was my pick out of the gate, but I definitely wanted to see a big pullback and maybe a gap fill, and then a bounce on the gap fill, and it just blew right through it. Once it broke through this node on the volume profile, it just fell off the planet there. So same with NVAX. NVAX had a nice little sell-off, had a big gap up, same kind of sell-off as Moderna, and then the other one was BNTX. BNTX had about the same. BNTX had a nice gap up and then a roll down here. Bigger stuff too was I was looking at Netflix out of the gate. Netflix had a nice little move. That was my number one pick out of the gate this morning. We were looking at like 586, ran to 603. Really nice move in about 15-20 minutes by maybe a little more, 10-10. It topped out here, so maybe a 40-minute run out of the gate. NVIDIA, I was watching NVIDIA. SMH has looked pretty weak. NVIDIA did have a squeeze out of the gate and then pulled back pretty good. It didn't finish on its high, finished close to the high, but and AMD had a pretty bad day as well. Got got hit pretty good here out of the open. Popped up a little bit and then sold off down here to like 133.50 area. Finished the day down 46. It did recover a little bit, not the high day, but so as we were watching the SMHs and the XLK, the SMHs did finish green. They did finish green. They did have the same chart as AMD and NVIDIA, pulled up a little bit to about 10.15, 10.20, rolled over, came down to the low, and then SMH did recover after hours, it looks like, to a high day. But you know, not too much. I was looking at Expedia today. Expedia had a nice move out of the gate. We're looking at Expedia. If you're watching the scanners, it was Expedia. Qualcomm had a little pop. Live Nation, kind of like travel related stuff. Lyft had a decent day. Carnival Cruise Lines had a decent day. You know, 1770, 1760s on up here to 1930. Norwegian had a little pop. Royal Caribbean, same thing, little pop out of the gate, 70 to 74.50. So all those, if you're watching the scanners in the morning, you know, you could have caught all these moves. United Airlines had a nice pop. American Airlines, Southwest. Southwest wasn't as strong as the others. JetBlue, they all had a little pop though out of the gate. You know, 13.50 to 13.95. That's not a huge move, but these other ones had some better moves. Caesars tried to go. Penn Gaming. Penn had a little pop out of the gate, but they all rolled over. All the gaming rolled over pretty quick. Las Vegas never recovered there. What else? MGM did finish after hours kind of up on the high, but they were weaker than those airlines. And then we were looking at Energy for a bounce. Energy had a decent bounce here from the low this morning. Had an okay bounce here. Some stuff was moving with it. Chevron, saw Chevron come back. Halliburton, Schlumberger, Marathon, Apache, all that stuff. Everything kind of had the same chart as the XLE, Hess, SLB there, BP. You know, BP was a little bit weaker, but energy, the same chart on all those energy stuffs trying to recover. Small caps had a really good day, BFRI, and BFRI is ripping here after hours, right? Had a nice little move on BFRI this morning, pulled back, and then after hours it just went off to the races, 750 on up to, what, 975 here, 970 area. Really nice move after hours on BFRI. The big one today we had was SOPA. SOPA out of the gate was about 450. Low was 444, and this thing just took off. It got halted several times. High a day on it was 1347, and but you know, this first run up here was like 1250, then almost 13, then 1350. Several people in the group were trading it, but a couple others moving. I saw Google trying to recover a little bit. Google was down quite a bit this morning, down here 2786. Finished up at 2845, so that was a decent recovery. And then Apple, where's Apple at? Apple was trying to have a little recovery there. Apple finished only down 12 cents on the day, 168 on up to 170 and a half. So decent recovery. Coin, I saw some unusual option activity in Coin. I also saw AVGO. AVGO finished up 12 on the day. There was some unusual option activity in AVGO. And then the other one was MELI, M-E-L-Y, M-E-L-I. MELI had the next week's December 31st. We had about 1,000 calls on the 1300s, which is pretty far out of money on MELI. I don't know what that's about. That was about a $500,000 trade. 1,300 calls for December 31st on MELI. I am swinging AVGO. I am swinging MELI. I'm not swinging any of the small caps. LHDX was another one. I usually trade that when it's moving. Had a lighter volume, only less than a million traded, 778,000 for the day. It gets moving. It's got a low float. LHDX up $1.23, finished up when we saw it 550, 570 area, closed up here at 680. So not too bad of a day. ROIV had a decent little spike there. Could have scalped that. So we saw that one moving pretty good. You know, 11 to like 17 bucks. It was short lived, about 20-30 minute trade at most. GRTX, nice little day. A lot of small cappers moving. Again, watching scanners. BDSI had a nice little move. You know, I'm a scanner trader, so I'm catching all these off scanners. So I run about 6 different scanners to catch these. If you're looking to get in those kind of trades, I highly suggest getting familiar with your scanners and using a good scanner to catch these type of trades. BRG, that was pre-market. That was, you couldn't have caught that. We probably wouldn't have never caught that. Citigroup, ACY. Yeah, so APTS was running today. APTS had a really nice day, 14 and a quarter on up to 16.93 all day. It was hitting scanner, and look how clean that chart is on the Heikin-Ashi. So if you're looking for a strategy to trade, several of these trades today turned up towards midday, end of day. I left at 2 o'clock and I came back and saw that a lot, you know, half of them moved up, half did not. But the ones, if you want to catch them on this crossover system that I use, feel free to join us and I'll show you how we trade off the scanners, and I'll show you how I use this crossover system. It works very good. But if you want to follow us on Off the Chart Trading on Facebook or offtecharttrading.com. You can hit us up on Google, offtecharttrading.com. Check our website out. If you're in the group, just reach out to Nick or myself or Ed about getting a free trial for a few days or something. So, all right, guys. Well, we'll see you tomorrow. I don't have any predictions for tomorrow. This market's been so volatile. NASDAQ, you know, NASDAQ's got hurt pretty bad. I'm talking 385, 386 area. BPOC is about 387 for some serious resistance there. And then the SPY, you know, same thing, 461. It's like this area of resistance here on VPOC, playing point of control being 6160 area. You know, maybe we can gap up. We got to get through here and build back out. We got to get through there and build back out. If we don't get through there, we're going back down. This is going to be a key area right here, 461.70 area. So, but all right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Everybody have a great night. See ya.